And we're live, and welcome to another episode of Love and Money Secrets TV. I'm your host, Dame Lillian Walker, and we are resuming our read, review, and applying of the Mitochondriac Manifesto by R.D. Lee. And we're live, and welcome to another episode of Love and Money Secrets TV. I'm your host, Dame Lillian Walker, and we are resuming. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to cut that off. Okay, do-over. We're gonna start all over. I'll edit that beginning part out. Welcome to another episode of Love and Money Secrets TV. I'm your host, Dame Lillian Walker, and today we're going to resume our continuing read, review, and apply of the Mitochondriac Manifesto by R.D. Lee, which is really based on the work and the discoveries of Dr. Jack Kruse, an incredible photobiomodulation expert. All right, and in case you guys don't know what photobiomodulation is, photobiomodulation. Photo is light, biological, because we are biological beings. Modulation means movement and change. And your mitochondria respond to photobiomodulation inside and outside of your body, because we are all, as you know, infrared light beings. Okay, so page 57, it starts with mitochondria haplotype. I do not read what's in the margins of the book. You'll have to buy the book to get that. But we're going to go ahead and read this section. It says mitochondria haplotype. We call the mitochondrial genes of your ethnic lineage your mitochondrial haplotype or haplogroup. Think ancestral. Your haplotype controls how tightly or loosely coupled your mitochondria are made to be straight from the factory, meaning how spread apart your 5 respiratory complexes are at birth. Coupling just means pairing. Coupling efficiency then morphs slowly over time on a daily basis. On a daily and seasonal basis in response to temperature, food, solar yield, disease, infection, altitude, O2 level, and toxins. It's basically responding to the environment it's around in your body as well as outside of your body. Your haplotype comes from what area of the planet the women in your family tree came from. This tells you something about mitochondrial DNA, mutations that occurred in the area. When environmental adaptations proved to be useful, the changes were passed on to future generations. When the changes made your life worse, the mutations eventually were corrected by their genetic machinery, or the person didn't make it, thereby removing those genes from the gene pool. Ideally, the distance from the first cytochrome to the 5th should be about 36 to 40 angstroms. This is getting very specific. Super small distance. That's where mitochondria operate most efficiently. But environmental exposures cause the respiratory proteins to either expand or to contract, altering both efficiency and potential side effects. Unfriendly forces working against you stretch the respiratory proteins out, so they might be 60 angstroms apart in an extremely obese person with rundown mitochondria. On the other hand, when favorable exposures work to your advantage, respiratory proteins contract closer to the 36 to 40 angstroms, which is ideal. And ATP, as I affectionately have called it, all the power, which actually stands for adenosine triphosphate, production improves. The takeaway lesson is it's inaccurate to think of either loosely coupled or tightly coupled mitochondria as being bad or unhealthy. It just depends. I'm going to sidebar here, put this a little bit on pause. Whether it's loose or whether it's tightly wound, one or the other isn't good or bad. It all depends on whether you're in a cold, very cold climate, or if you're in a very hot climate. If you're in a hot climate, then it needs to be more loosely spread. And if you're in a colder climate, it has to be more tight. So it's adaptogenic, just means that it adapts to the circumstances at hand. So you could have someone who's born in a very hot area, and they can move to basically a cold area. And of course, your body is going to acclimate. It's going to adapt to that environment, and your mitochondria is going to adapt if you stay living in a cold area, as opposed to being originally from a cold area and moving to a hotter climate. Your body can adapt, and it's designed to adapt. Nothing is static, it's dynamic. That means it's fluid and changing and moving, adapting to your body's always, every millisecond, your chemistry is changing, a microsecond by microsecond. Okay, so then the takeaway lesson, it's inaccurate to think of either loosely coupled or tightly coupled mitochondria as being bad or unhealthy. The right way to think about it is how closely or poorly matched your coupling efficiency is to your environment, your biology, and your age. That is, when you go from where you started and you lose gobs of coupling efficiency inordinately fast from smoking crack or even highly mismatched diet. That's how resulting ATP shortages, energy shortages, because that's what ATP is, becoming dysfunction and disease. So in other words, it's how much looser your coupling efficiency is from where it should be. That spells trouble, because that's what causes organs to malfunction and your health to decline. On the flip side, when you optimize your coupling efficiency to its theoretical maximum, perhaps even exceed it, you will live forever and never get sick. So the thing to keep in mind is that our bodies are always giving us feedback. Sometimes your body gives you feedback, letting you know that what you're doing is all good, you're happy, you're healthy, you're not having anything that's going on. But other times your body will give you presentations of things. Maybe you have the red flag of maybe a skin eruption. A skin eruption is telling you that there's something over the pay grade of your kidneys and your liver. It's too much for you to filter out through urine, whatever those toxins are. It can't filter it out through urine or defecation, or the third option is perspiration through the skin. And if it can't get rid of it through the skin, then you have skin eruption, skin presentation, skin symptoms. And that's just telling you there's something that's trying to clear that hasn't cleared out yet. And so now you know to take extra measures. You have to curb some sort of behavior. You need to make some sort of changes and adjustment in what you've been eating, what you've been applying to your body, because your body's telling you, hey, we're having trouble clearing something. You don't even need to know what the something is. You just need to know that something needs to be cleared. And then as you make those adaptations, then those things start to clear and they start to disappear. And that's where you're able to activate your original blueprint from prior to your birth is so powerful. This device that I'm wearing here, and it is a device, it's not medicine. This device does that. It's body optimization at its finest. And what it does is it turns on your original blueprint from when you were conceived. A third of that workforce is turned back on so that now you can repair, restore, and regenerate your body to a younger, healthier state. Anything that's damaged, because it's your original blueprint, it goes to whatever's broken, whatever's tainted, whatever's got toxins in it, whatever's not right, dysregulated. If the timing is off, it all gets repaired. And it doesn't happen, to repair everything inside your body takes time. Sometimes certain things will go away the first 30 seconds, the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. Other things may take longer. It just depends on how much stuff you got going on in your body. And then over time, as your body has less requirements to repair damaged things, then it can reverse age you where it's turning on new original blueprint matter. So you have a greater workforce at hand to replace, restore, and regenerate everything from the top of your head down to your toes. So we are here at basically almost the bottom of the hour. If you guys have questions, comments, or concerns about what we just read, we just finished page 57. We're going to be starting another section here. I'm going to read one more paragraph because we read mitochondria haplotype. You can see that right here. And then if I go to the next page, we have one little tightly knit paragraph with a heading with a great little graphic over here you can see. So I'm going to read this next section. I put my glasses on because this print really is small, and I no longer wear prescription glasses thanks to this technology. These are readers that I now enjoy instead of the prescription glasses that I wore since I was 5. So visualize energy inefficiency in stars. Ooh, this sounds very amusing. I wonder what he's going to say. He says, when a star passes its prime, it becomes energy inefficient, no longer able to burn a hot due to weaker combustion. It expands into a red giant and loses thermodynamic efficiency. At that point in the star's life cycle, its energy production becomes wasteful, and so the star literally gets bloated. Ooh, interesting. Later, as it runs out of fuel towards the end of its life, it shrivels up and dies. Ooh. Well, the laws of thermodynamics are the same at the microscopic level as they are at the galactic level. So the same thing happens in humans, I could tell. When their mitochondria become inefficient at making and using energy, they tend to get fat. Excess weight in people is a strong indicator that their mitochondria consume too much fuel per unit of energy made. In this case, calories per ATP. Basically, their mitochondria are decoupled and damaged. Ooh, so the body expands. The same thing happens with the heart. When the heart weakens, it expands to try and compensate. We call that congestive heart failure. In summary, stars, proteins, and hearts are more thermodynamically efficient when they're compact versus when they're bloated. So to get that sleeker physique, focus on fine-tuning your engines. All right, my friends and gems, we are here at the bottom of the hour. It's 2:29. So we are going to finish off there on page 58. When we return, we're going to come back to bad genes don't cause disease. Human genes, that is. I'm going to say that one more time because too many people think that you are a prisoner of whatever your genes are expressing, and that's not true, because for a very long time, we have scientists who can up or down regulate genetic expression. And you, without any professional outside of you, your genes have turned on and turned off throughout your lifetime, expressing and unexpressing certain traits and certain symptoms in your body. Because like I said at the beginning of this, your body is dynamic. It's not static. There's no such thing as it being permanent. As long as you're alive, your body is constantly changing and balancing the chemistry inside and outside of your body. As you take each breath, as you blink, whether your eyes are open or your eyes are closed, as you hear, as you smell, as you inhale, you are alkalizing your body with deep breaths. As you exhale, all those things, what you're, not just the room temperature, but the quality of the air in which your environment is, your body's taking all of that information, and you can kind of picture in your mind's eye, play, pretend, and make believe that you have thousands of tiny little clear vials, little glass vials, and in each vial, there's liquid of all sorts of different colors. And as you speak, as you're quiet, as you're awake, as you're asleep, every little vial is adjusting with varying amounts of liquids and all sorts of different colors. There's reds, blues, greens, purple, magenta, lime green, pine green, Kelly green, bright yellow, light yellow, green yellow, every color you could possibly imagine. And every one of those little liquids are adjusting. They might not adjust as much when you're not talking. And when you're speaking, they adjust more. And if you're running and you're burning more calories and you're inhaling and exhaling, panting faster, all that changes your chemistry. All right, my friends and gems, like I said, when we return, we're going to come back to bad genes don't cause disease, human genes. That's on page 57. All right, my friends and gems, you have a great rest of your day. If you like what you hear, if you'd like to learn more about this body optimizing technology, that is the state-of-the-art med tech in a patch. It's a device, not medicine. just put in the comments below, I'm interested, and we can get connected. You can always join us here at 7 p.m. tonight to watch the presentation where we do an information question and answer session. If you prefer to just text 26786, the word health IQ, that's capital H, health, and then the words IQ all together, no spaces, IQ capitalized also, you'll automatically get a free health IQ gift health assessment. And then we're connected and we can answer any questions you might